Hello. Today in the COVID kitchen, where we try new recipes during COVID-19 lockdown, we're going to be making some beef tacos in the slow cooker. We've got our taco shells here, and we've got a bunch of seasoning here. Assembling seasoning is always my favorite part of cooking. It kind of reminds me a little bit of being a scientist or maybe like a wizard, putting some magic together. And it can be like magic, where you can turn just some plain old ground beef into a really tasty meal. So we've got an onion, a little bit of leftover red pepper. We're gonna get some garlic out too with some tomato sauce, and we're gonna make sure that we cook this all up and turn it into a delicious meal. So our first step towards our beef tacos today is we're just going to be browning the ground beef. We've got some beef here. It's been in my freezer for quite some time, but we've got it thawed out, and it's going to be ready to go. So here we go. You can smell the sizzle. It's up on high. We got it. It's going. It's going to be browned pretty quick. And we're going to be wanting to break it up as it goes. So I've got actually my ground meat breaker right here. I just smash this guy up. A lot of people can just use a wooden spoon or whatever you have, but this is actually a tool that helps me to break up the meat as quickly and easily as possible. It's pretty good for this purpose, and I do enjoy the stamping out of the meat as well. So the beef's now all mashed up. It's all ground and mashed up pretty good. It's going to be time for the spices. And we have a mix here of paprika, cumin, chili powder, and oregano. This is where you'd also add the salt, but I'm not doing that. Also the garlic. The garlic's up in here. So boom, we're going to put in the seasoning, and now we're also going to add the onions and the red peppers, and we're going to let that simmer with the beef. We're going to mix it in, and we're just going to let that go for a couple minutes before we transfer it over to the slow cooker, where it will be for the remainder of the day until it's ready to consume. Take a look and see how it looks at the moment. So this is pretty much what you're looking at. As you can see, it looks like an absolute delicious meal, and it's going to go into that slow cooker so that all of the flavors will mix together very well for a very long time. The slow cooker is it's a wonderful tool. Okay, so the ground beef is all cooked up, the pre-cooked. We're gonna put it now into the slow cooker, and we're also going to add at this time some water, some tomato sauce, and even a bay leaf. And then we're going to put it on low for 8 hours, because I really like those flavors to set in. You can do it a lot quicker too. You can put it on high and probably take about 3 hours, so you can cut that time even more in half, and it'll do just fine. But I really like those flavors to absolutely set in and just be just be fantastic. So we're going to mix this guy up here. And then we're going to put the lid on and turn it to low. And now we're done for the next 8 hours. Alright, so while we're almost ready for the taco meat to be done, I'm going to make up some cauliflower rice actually. So I've got some jalapeno, some tomato, and some onion that I've chopped up. And we're just going to put this into the saute pan. And we're going to mix this around for a couple of minutes. It already smells really good. Mixing in there with a great smell from the taco meat as well. It's always a very aromatic kind of a meal. All right, so next up we've got the cauliflower, the riced cauliflower, which I put into the food processor and riced up a couple of days ago. I did an entire head in preparation for tonight's meal. It's
always kind of handy to have a little bit of riced cauliflower on hand, you know, in a pinch. It's a little bit messy to make and a little time consuming, so if you have it on hand already, you don't have to worry too much about it. You can freeze those guys too, so if you want to do, maybe you only want to use a half a head, you can freeze the other half for another time. This is looking pretty good. You know, we're going to add some garlic to it as well. There we go. And we'll make sure that the flavors continue to marinate in this guy and mix around in the cauliflower. Cauliflower, not the most flavorful of foods, so it's good to have it mixed in with all of these other guys, the garlic and the pepper and the onions and all that. So we'll get right back to it in a minute. Okay, so we're almost done. I threw in a little bit of tomato paste earlier because I work with tomato paste that happens to be frozen. So I wanted to get it in there a little bit earlier. But now we're going to add the spices, and this is the smoky chipotle paprika again with some cayenne pepper and some cumin. So we're going to throw that in there, and we're going to mix that in to the cauliflower. Show you a little bit how it's looking. As you can see, we're getting it colored up a little bit. It's not just the bland white cauliflower anymore. Now it's got a lot of color. It's got some reds. It's got some greens. We're getting the tomato is finally falling out and covering, and we've got the seasoning in there, and it's smelling very nice. So this will be all set. We're going to put a little bit of cilantro on top when it's done, and we're going to be all set for when the taco meat is ready. Well, the taco meat is finished. It is ready to go. And we're just going to mix it up there. Look at that beautiful color. The lighting's not great, but I assure you it looks delicious. It smells even better. And we're about ready to transfer this meat over to some taco shells and get ready to have dinner. So here it is. Here's the dish. We got. I'll show you the tacos here. It's got some nice meat here, and it wouldn't really be tacos without a little bit of cheese, some toppings with tomato, and a little bit of shredded lettuce as well. And now you've got a really lovely looking taco. Let's give it a try. Risking it all that it wouldn't fall apart right there, but the Ortega shells hold, and it's pretty good. Very nice.